All right, welcome back to Sunrise Daily. Yes, indeed, we've got His Excellency Lucky Aiyedatiwa, Governor of Ondo State and governorship candidate of the APC as well. So we'll go ahead and have him speak to us about his plan and program and what he intends to do. Getting conflicting signal. But we'll just go ahead and check. Your Excellency, good morning. Thank you for joining us on the program. Can you hear us at the moment? Okay, so we'll go ahead and have a look at some background, and then we'll be back to this. Okay, morning, Your Excellency. Can you hear us? We can't hear you from here, so I don't know if they can at home, but we'll just try and sort that out, and we'll do it. But clearly, yes, it's about the forthcoming elections in the state. And first of all, I know that yes, you're out there campaigning, trying to see what can be done to ensure no one takes your seat away from you, but the candidates of the PDP, the Labour Party themselves, even NNPP, all of them, they're striving to see how they could get that away from you. So go ahead and tell us. So yes, we've seen some campaign activity. Even yesterday, national leadership of your party are in town. So how has your campaign been so far from your perspective?
Yeah, thank you. Yes, we we put out a very strong campaign. My party, APC, as a candidate and a city governor. I can tell you that I've traversed the entire 18 local government area of the state, not just the capital city of the local government, but also the major communities in all of these local governments, so that I can see firsthand the environment, listen to the people, and be able to know exactly what to do in these various communities. So we are the only party, I'm the only candidate that has covered the entire 18 local government. Yes, you mentioned that PDP and the Labour Party are also there as strong contender of this seat. But I can tell you from what we have on the field as of today, which I believe, although today is the last day of campaign, I can safely tell you that we are a party to beat, because we can see the mood of the people, the excitement, and the major political stakeholders in the state. And not only that, our programs and projects, the activities of the government in the last 10 months since I assumed office, at least have been, commended by major political stakeholders and even the various communities. So we are good. We are ready to go out on Saturday.
Yeah. What would you say to those who say that
make a very good choice, which is APC?
How do you respond to those who say you have an unfair advantage? You're sitting governor, and chances are that you could use the paraphernalia office to perhaps also boost your campaign.
Well, it is not. That is the way it is. If you are in my position, you will do same. It's not taking advantage of the office that I occupy. It's not about running over the people or trying to suppress them. It's not that. The advantage that I have, I can tell you, is the people can see who I am. They know who I am. They know the language that I speak. They know, they have seen what I have been able to do within the last 10 months. Those are the advantages, really. It's not about using the office to suppress people or to be high-handed and trying to disrupt system, But the people can see, they can identify with our projects and programs, and they can feel our government positively in terms of what we have been able to do. in the last 10 months. Those are the major advantages that I have.
Okay, so yeah, so about for some of our viewers, we'll take you to Anambra State in Oka. There's an event going on there, so just have a look at that one. But Your Excellency, staying with you, what kind of message are you telling the people? Because we've heard some opposition say, look, the lives of the people in Ondo State has not really improved in terms of the economy and the cost of living. So they wonder, why should they re-elect you as governor?
Well, the cost of living that has gone up is not the making of the governor of Ondo State. That is a global trend. You know, let me say this, that nothing is static in this world. Society itself evolves, and the evolution of the society all across the globe, comes up with new demands, yearnings, and situations and circumstances, new systems. For example, in 1982, when I was working as a staff in a company in Lagos, the minimum wage at that time was 125 naira. That was what I was earning, 125 naira. Because things are cheaper at the time, that was the reality at the time. Over time, minimum wage began to increase as the society evolves. Today, workers are clamoring for increase in wages. For us in Ondo State, 73,000, some other states, 70s, like in Edo, 70,000, in Kogi, and so on and so forth. So it's an evolution. It is not about Ondo State governor. It's not Ondo State's problem. It's the societal evolution. Let me also tell you, a year ago in 2023, a ton of cocoa that is being grown from our soil here in Ondo State. Don't forget, Ondo State is the largest producer of cocoa in Nigeria. Now, a ton of cocoa in 2023 was about 2.5 million naira, which is about $1,200. But today, the same cocoa, the same ton of cocoa, is about $11,000, which is about up to 15, 16 million naira. So our farmers are earning more money. It's an evolution. What do you think will happen to the cost of chocolate in Switzerland and other European countries that require cocoa, to produce chocolate? So it's a global trend. So our people have been educated. Don't forget to say the awareness is there that the issue is not about who is the governor right now. It's about what measure is going to put in place for them to earn more so that they can meet up with the cost of living. And that's exactly what we are going to do. We're encouraging our farmers. If you're a grower of cassava right now, you make more money. So if cost of living has gone up as a result of societal evolution, all we should be interested in is how our people are going to earn more money to be able to meet up with the cost of living. So these are the education we have, our awareness we've created, and we have mentioned on our campaign, so that people will be able to work more to earn more money to meet their bills. And that's exactly what we've been able to push out to the public. And they know that that is the truth. It's not about somebody just to make a political statement because of politics. No, you don't demarket somebody because of politics that don't face the reality. We are real people, and we are creating an enabling environment for our people to be able to make more money. Just as we have just increased the minimum wage also, so that our workers will earn more.
Your Excellency, I see just how cleverly you've done that there, because you have said that it's a global issue, but Nigerians know that their problems are also quite local. What has caused the increased cost of living has been quite localized in terms of the removal of fuel subsidy and also the removal of subsidy on dollars, the flotation of the dollar on the forex market, causing the kind of inflation that we haven't experienced in years, if at all we have. But let me come to how it is that you've run the campaign, because according to you, you say you've run very good campaigns. You say your campaigns, but those who have been observing, analysts, those who have been writing on the elections in Ondo say it's been largely lackluster. That's how they've described the campaigns in Ondo. And they believe that that's because you don't really have perhaps a very strong opposition on your tail. That what we've seen largely has been campaigns around Akure. Now, you say that you've gone around all the 18 local government areas, but perhaps that was just a very recent development, perhaps. Those who have been looking are wondering, is there really an election happening in Ondo with, the kinds of campaigns that they have been seeing prior to now? What would you say has been responsible for that?
Well, let me say this. Everybody is entitled to their own opinion. When you observe a thing, you can write, the way you feel, the way you perceive it. But those who might have been writing, I don't know what they have seen. Maybe they are just looking at the other political party that are really, really not there. Because just yesterday, I read on the newspaper that appeal court have just ruled that the Labour Party, who has been parading himself as the candidate of the party, is not even the candidate of the party. I don't know what is going to happen to that, because all these parties, other people, they have issues around them, and they are not too sure whether, they will remain the candidate, just like what happened yesterday about the appeal court decision. So a lot of them are not too committed to running a campaign. But for us, we are running a standard campaign. So maybe they are judging by the opposition, just like you mentioned, maybe because the opposition is weak. I don't know what exactly it is, but I know that most of the political gladiators in those states, they are presently in APC because they have seen that our party is a progressive party that means well for the people, and they need to just be part of it to ensure that they go along with the right platform. So we ran a good campaign. Issues were raised and were also addressed. Don't forget that we are talking to our people. I don't know what they have seen, those who wrote, but for me, I went to the local communities. I listened to the people, and I read their messages, and we know exactly what we have to do by the time we return come February 2025, by the grace of God.
It's interesting you talk about how
our campaign is standard. I don't know what exactly you want to see in a campaign that you didn't see.
No,
or maybe they've not been following us down to the rural areas. They're only looking at our Akure campaign.
Yeah, I haven't been to Ondo State in a while. I'm not the one who wrote this analysis. This is me as a journalist, interested in what those journalists on the ground in Ondo State have to say about what they have observed about the campaigns and the elections coming up so far. But let me take you up on one or two issues that you have raised. You've raised the issue of the opposition. You've said that most of the political gladiators are in your party, and some people will say maybe that's why you're laid back. But even members of the opposition, we spoke with a member of the Labour Party, the candidate of the Labour Party this morning, and they believe that your party might have had a hand in the problems that they are currently facing. They think that that's one of the ways that you're, hoping to coast to victory by causing confusion and mayhem in other parties. Do you have a direct hand or otherwise, in the problems befalling other parties?
Let me first of all correct an impression that I'm laid back or my party is laid back. We are not. I've just mentioned to you that I traversed the entire 18 local government, not just the capital city of the local government, but the other communities, the rural communities, driving hours into the rural so that I can see how the people, how they are living, the roads that connect them. So we did a lot of campaign where some places where there's no network, we went into the rurals of the rural because the farmers, the farm dwellers, because of the road, the program I have, which is called RAMP, Rural Access Road, I want to see how the roads look like so that by the time we're making our budget, we know how many kilometers we're going to put in and all of that. All of this is not just a campaign for me. It is for me to see, because if you really mean well for the people and you want to really govern, to deliver dividend of democracy, good governance to the people, it's not only the people at the metropolis. It's not only the people at the capital city or the metropolitan city. You need to reach the farmers, the rural dwellers. And those are some of the things we have done. So we weren't laid back at all. We put in our efforts and resources to get to the people. Because those are the people. If you say Ondo State is developed, it's not just Akure. That's my own philosophy. It's not just Akure. It's the Ujo sons, the Karams, and all of those areas, the Akotogbos in the south, and the riverine, now we border to Delta State. All of these places we visited. So we are not laid back. Now, let me come back to your other questions. The crisis they have in their party. I'm not a member of any other political party. I've never been any member of any party before. So I'm a progressive. I've always been a progressive. AD, ACN, and now APC. So whatever is happening in their political party, I have no hand in it. It's just their internal crisis. Don't forget that a lot of these people, they contested in one other party. For example, the Labour candidate contested against the PDP candidate right now during their primaries. He lost. So if you say you're a member of PDP, all of a sudden you jump into Labour Party, you pick their ticket when somebody else had a primary there, definitely it will create crisis. So those are some of the issues they are dealing with. We have no hand in that. And even, at the national level also, that is just at the state level. At the national level also, they are having problem of who is the chairman, the authentic chairman of the party, and all of that. We just follow what we'll read all of this in the newspaper and watch them on the TV and just follow what is happening in other political parties.
Okay,
Not
Your Excellency, let me quickly take you up on minimum wage.
Campaign activities.
Well, just before you go there, Your Excellency, there's an accusation within your party as well in terms of division. Now, there's a certain group that say, no, they don't like how you emerged, and as such, they threw their weight behind Benson Akingboye of the SDP. So how are you uniting your party moving to these elections?
Thank you. My party is united. If you follow through closely, you will see that in the last 1 month or a week now, you will find out that everybody has come together. In fact, immediately after the primaries, yes, which is normal, some people felt it should have been them and all that, but don't forget, we have 16 aspirants, and immediately after the primary, within 2 weeks, 10 of them congratulated me and working with me, and thereafter, every other person congratulated me and they're working with the party. Well, you can see just last week, Sunday, Jimo Ibrahim organized a rally with his own cell within the party called Asheyori in support of the governor and of our party. So we are together. I don't see, we are not having internal crisis in our party. Now, when you say some people left our party to support Akingboye, that is not known. Let's have the clips or the meetings where that was declared. In our own party, those who left their political party to defect to APC, it was an open engagement. It was televised, it was recorded. We have all of that. We have records of all of that. So if they cannot show us the record, then I don't know what they're talking about. But let me also tell you that the deputy governor aspirant of this same SDP has defected in one of our rallies in Akoko. I think it was in Akoko Northwest. She come from. She defected and joined us. That is supposedly the deputy governor candidate running alongside with Akingboye has defected to our party. I received her into our party on that day where we went to Akoko Northwest for our campaign.
Let me quickly bring up the issue of minimum wage because you brought it up in one of your responses. You said that you have now approved the 73,000 naira minimum wage, and indeed, we understand that that was well received by workers. But they say you have been shifting and shifting the implementation date for the minimum wage. Can you tell us why? And I think you wanted to coincide with the elections, the implementation to coincide with the elections. Are you making this an electoral matter?
The issue of minimum wage is not an election matter. let me correct that impression. Not at all, far from it. Because if you can recall that minimum wage negotiation or discussion, if you like, has been on for months. The federal government, the organized private sector, and the labor leaders, they have been, back and forth on this at the time. They even, threatened going on protests and all of that. But eventually, it was agreed, not the state governors that, that set that. It was the federal government, the labor leaders at the national level, and the organized private sector. So they agreed at 70,000 naira. Now, implementation has to start. For other states that have also started, that have announced their minimum wage, it's not as if because they have elections to run. So it's just a coincidence. It's not an election issue. Now, fortunately for me, it happens at a time when I was also running an election. So it's a coincidence, part of those incumbency advantage, if you call it that way. I mean, if you say it that way. Now, implementation, I have just signed last week the consequential adjustment. Don't forget, a baseline was set, which is 73,000, even though what the law says 70,000 naira. And I can tell you that I'm the second governor that announced minimum wage in Nigeria, the second governor that announced the baseline. Some governors have not even announced their minimum wage up to this moment. At the moment I announced as the second governor, every other governor also were just announcing their own minimum wage. So it's not an election matter. Now implementation, I can tell you, as at the time it was announced, we're already in the middle of the month of October. And there's no way they could wrap up the consequential adjustment to reflect at the various cadres and levels in service. So they have to do that. A committee was set up, headed by the head of service and the Secretary General and people from the Ministry of Finance, and then the organized labor leaders, negotiating what should now be if the governor has set the baseline of 73,000, for the low level in the entry point. What will now be the level, the amount other levels in service will be getting. So that have been fine-tuned and agreed upon. It was brought to me about 2 weeks ago, which I have signed. And I can tell you, November is here. Today is 13th of November. By the time the salary, because they need to also input all of this into the system, which I've given instruction that every workers must earn the minimum wage at the end of this month of November. And that is exactly what is going to happen.
Mm-hmm. Well, Your Excellency, today is 14th. I mean, I was just telling my colleague that if I don't know any dates today, I certainly will know today's date. It's the 14th of November.
Sorry.
Oh, well, just moving on now.
I've been so busy, sorry.
that's understandable.
14th, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so far so good. I mean, to the, to the commendation of all the contestants so far, the rhetoric or even the threat of violence in these elections seems to be on the down low. We've seen all of the candidates in the elections, signing a peace accord, as opposed to what we've seen in previous elections in other states. So to the commendation of you and fellow contestants, that seems to not be a problem. However, vote buying is one of the problems that people foresee could happen in these elections. And there are even allegations that, as we speak, vote trading is already happening, that your leaders of communities have already been given bags of rice and food items to distribute to communities. Will your party, be denouncing anything around vote buying and vote trading in these elections?
Well, I can only speak for myself and for my political party. I don't intend to engage in that, and we will never, because we've never done that before. Don't forget that our party, this is our 8th year as progressive, since the party won the election in 2017. And from what we have been able to do in terms of infrastructure development, the environment itself, making it safe and peaceful. That is one thing you can't take away from Ondo State. Ondo State has been adjudged to be one of the safest and most peaceful states in Nigeria because of our security architecture, education, citizens' participation, awareness we created, an enabling environment for our younger ones to also get engaged in one entrepreneurship activity or the other. So these are some of the things we've been able to put in place. So the people have seen that. You want to talk about the traditional rulers, the health sector, the reforms that were brought in and the support we're giving to them, the recent initiative that has made our doctors to stay down and for doctors to want to also work in Ondo State. Before now, it wasn't so. All of this put together, just to mention a few. The reasons why we don't need to buy votes. Okay. The people will definitely vote for candidates and party of their choice. They know all of us. They know. Don't forget that the only maybe somebody, the opposition that can see really is the PDP. Don't forget, has been here before in governance. He's been deputy governor. They know us. They know both of us. They know what we represent in terms of integrity, in terms of character, in terms of access, in terms of disposition and the political symbol of ourselves, what we represent. All of this, they know us. So there won't be any need for vote buying. Maybe the opposition, because they're not popular, they might try to, do that. But for us, we don't have any reason to do that.
All right,
because
Excellency.
We've gone around the whole 18 local government, which they have not done.
We need to wrap up in less than a minute if we can. So could you just tell us, what is going to be the major highlight of your government if you are elected governor?
Well, first of all, I must maintain security, because without security and peace in any system, you cannot do much in terms of development, in terms of infrastructure development, investment by investors. So that is one thing we are known for, like I said, but every other thing we are going to do, because there are structures already in place. We are only going to bring in strategic initiative to drive those structures so that the people can get more from the government and from our activity. And that is exactly what we're going to do. First of all, we must maintain order, rule of law, security of lives and property, which is the primary mandate of any government. We must ensure that, and that's what we've been doing. That is why Ondo State is even going to host Global Entrepreneurship Festival, the largest of its kind in the world, come this November, because our state is peaceful, because it's calm, and the people feel safe. So they are coming all across the globe. Follow us up on that. You will see by yourself. If we can do that, we're trying to create traffic into Ondo State that will make people to come into Ondo State. And you know what that means. It will stimulate the economy. And those are some of the things we want to do,
All right. We do thank you for talking to us this morning, Mr. Lucky Aiyedatiwa, the governor of Ondo State and the governorship candidate of the Labour Party for the
All Progressives Congress.
I beg your pardon, of the All Progressives Congress.
All Progressives are not Labour Party.
Saturday. Yeah, I got that eventually. For this Saturday's election. So we wish you and everybody all the best, and we hope it to be a peaceful election across the board.
It's going to be peaceful. We are peaceful people. Thank you so much for having me. God bless.